worst Christian ever.
I'm not telling you about Rob Reed's channel so that you'll go over there, because it's pretty boring. You know, you got to bring your own excitement to the whole thing.
I hope you brought your own excitement. I hope that the volume on here is not too high. So I'm going to rely on you folks. I'm in the mood. I haven't properly done my background. We're just testing this out. But I've got some stuff to talk about. It's been a while since so hello to you. I'm Rob Reed, where you have to bring your own excitement. We're going to cruise TikTok, I guess like Matt Walsh style, which works today because I'm wearing plaid. And if you're conservative, you're probably familiar with Matt Walsh. I like Matt Walsh. I do think his attitude related to the recent Roe versus Wade stuff was a little over the top, but that's kind of his thing. Even saw some of the channels that I really like Pints with Aquinas, saying something, I wish I could show it, saying, suck it, Planned Parenthood. And a lot of things that I just feel that we as Christians should, I don't know, don't bait other people. Show grace, be happy with a certain decision, and see where we go from there. That being said, my prayer today is that I'm going to show grace to some of the people here, because what prompted this was really and it turned out Matt Walsh did this too. I don't mean to copy him, but I was going to do this anyway, and a couple days ago, and I decided, I'll just do it anyway to test out my equipment and changing the Minicam thing that I have. We'll see how that works out, and we'll see if you like it too. Is to take a look at the sex strike. So the solution to the protesters, the women who are upset with the Roe versus Wade reversal. Well, first, let's just start with the fact that it's not an outright reversal. If it were an outright reversal, then there would be no abortion. Abortion would be banned. And they didn't ban abortion. What they did is they said it was a state issue. Now, what's interesting about that, as an aside, is the fact that 24 hours before, they said that the state of New York could not impede someone from concealing a weapon on their body, which is to me insane. But okay, I'm all for good legal analysis. When the Supreme Court says one day New York can't decide to infringe on an identified constitutional right one day, and then the very next day say that the state can, something's a little bit amiss. But it wasn't unexpected. I'm certainly glad that there weren't a huge amount of liberals who were going out, and I guess I know why, and I'm going to explain it to you why, I guess. Looting your local Best Buy, right? And stealing CD players and televisions in protest of Not My Uterus. The reason is because this affects women, and women are smarter than men. And I don't say that just because I see Olive here. Hello, Olive. God bless you too. She can't stay, but that's okay. Hopefully you can watch it a little later. Hi, Bruce. Good to see you. We're going to take a look at the solution that it appears that liberal ladies have decided. Instead of looting your local Best Buy, setting fire to a liquor store, rioting your local police station and taking it over like they did in Portland, women have decided sex strike seems to be the deal. And I'm hoping you'll be able to hear, and I'm going to try not to talk over, because I don't think it's going to repeat. Let me know if you can hear this as I play it. I sure hope so, instead of me having to use system audio, and then there won't be an echo. So let me know as I play this lady. Give me a +1 if you can hear her talk, as we're going to listen to various TikTok videos. Here we go. All right, we're going to start out with the fact. Let me know if you heard it. Give me a +1, Bruce, so you'll help, or anyone in the. There's 4 people watching, I think, right now. I guess there's going to be a strike. Oh, you said nope. You can't hear it. All right, so that's going to mean that I'm going to have to add. That sucks. Well, let me see if I can. Yeah, I see. So, all right, we're going to start it over. See, this is why we're testing this out. Ambulance chasers, just feeling so bad that I can't chase that ambulance. So I've got a system sound that I'm going to need to put down until let's see if it echoes. Let me know if you hear an echo. Well, you probably see what you're going to hear is you're going to hear when I get alerts like that. So that kind of sucks, but I don't see that it's echoing. So that's a good thing. So I'll be able to talk over it at the same time. Let me know if it's too loud. So now you should be able to hear. July 3rd, woman strike, sex strike.
And based around the women's strike starting on July 3rd. So I'd like to clear up a few things here. There was only so much information that I could give in 6 seconds, but here goes. So in America, we like to think that
there's a joke there related to I'm not going to the 6 seconds. Make your own jokes.
We vote on a ballot, but the truth is that we vote with our money. Like it or not, corporations are the ones who influence our government. So we want to make sure that as uterus owners or supporters of uterus owners, we are only giving money to the companies, businesses, and people who also support uterus owners. Yes.
Okay. That seems to me that's a very negative way to refer to women as uterus owners, as if the only value that a woman has is as a uterus owner. Does that make you feel good for this lady? This is also teaching me that I need to get glasses. This sucks because it's just a little too far, but we're gonna work this out. I don't want to. That'll add to the Matt Walsh comparison. I don't want to. I'm not as conservative, not anywhere near as conservative as Matt Walsh. So I'll be the lesser conservative Matt Walsh as we get this going. But uterus owner, if I said that to my wife, she'd slap me in the face.
Yes, this is molded after the Icelandic.
Let me mold it after the Icelandic. We're going to hear some history right now, something related to the Iroquois Indians or something too. I'm probably saying that wrong. But we're going to hear some history from her, I think. Please let me know if her volume is close to mine, if I'm way too loud or whatever. Here we go. The Icelandic Woman's Day Off.
Icelandic Women's Day Off, October 24th of 1975, wherein women, instead of shopping, taking care of the kids, cooking, cleaning, and working, they took to the streets to protest the fact that they were not accurately represented in their own government, as well as some other equality disparages.
Okay. Now, in 75, this was near 50 years ago. All right. I mean, we're 3 years away from making the 50 years. The status of woman, I would say in Iceland, probably even worse. She included in her little laundry list of things that the woman stopped doing. One of them was working. If a woman stops working because of, maybe I should say, if a uterus owner stops working because of the Roe v. Wade thing, they're just going to lose their job. It's not a very smart thing, to strike and not show up to work and potentially lose your job. I think that's a horribly bad idea. But at the same time, it's this young lady who certainly wasn't alive at the time of this Icelandic Women's Day Off, who doesn't realize, and I didn't look it up, but I'm sure that it has something to do because it's at the same time as in the United States, we had the Equal Rights Amendment and the battles related to that. Okay, good. Bruce, thank you. This is pretty close in volume. Thank you, sir. That it seems to me that the rights that the woman at the time in Iceland were probably going after was just the ability to work in the workplace at all some 50 years ago. And so the idea, I suppose, of not having sex may have been more effective there. But as an aside, and I'm sure we'll get to this again in the future, but if you're a Roe versus Wade dissenter, if you're a pro-life person who wanted Roe versus Wade to be overturned, you probably come from a conservative kind of Christian religious background. Maybe you could be Muslim, you could be Jewish, whatever it is. You're probably religious and conservative. How much does a sex strike hurt the conservative? Let's say, like, it's the pastor. You're talking to your pastor and you say, I'm really upset, pastor, that, and let's say you're a single uterus owner, and I'm using the phrase of this young lady, and you say, hey, pastor, I decided I'm going to have, and you're unmarried, if I didn't say that, I'm going to have a sex strike. The pastor would be like, and her parents are probably like, great, you shouldn't be having sex anyway. It's a horrible idea because it ends up, if it's the conservative Christian who's stepping on this particular uterus owner's rights, it seems to me that they also would want to step on the idea of you having premarital sex for fun. So it seems to me that you're kind of helping the cause there.
It worked. And as women who make up more than half of the population, if we band together, we do have the power to make change. July 3rd through 5th, we are going to attempt, if at all possible,
3
to
days.
abstain from working.
If at all possible, to abstain first from working. Okay. Don't go to your jobs. The 3rd through 5th. Here's what makes, I haven't heard this yet and didn't even think about, it's July 4th, right? Is this woman Canadian? If July 4th, there's no work. So what's the third? The third is I need to look this up. Forgive me for squinting. Again, this is just showing me the third is a Sunday. So starting Sunday, July 4th, which is a day off, and then the 5th. So you may have to take one day off of work, if at all possible, she said. So working, what else?
From making any purchases whatsoever.
No purchases.
From taking care of the kids, or from cooking,
don't
or
take care of your kids.
From cleaning, or really from anything. We are not going to participate in any of these constructs.
Where's the sex, though? Like, oh, maybe she's a sex addict. Maybe. Because she didn't say, most of the strike has been sex strike. Did she hashtag? She just hashtag strike and women's rights and trans right. I don't know what this has to do with trans right. Okay.
After that, we want to shift to something that makes a more permanent change. So we're going to look into all of the businesses that we shop at, all of the companies that we shop at. We're going to make sure that we're only supporting those companies and those businesses that support us. And watch just how quickly things can change when money's involved. Best of luck to all of you, and stay safe out there. Rightfully so, there has been a lot of confusion.
Okay, stay safe out there. There's probably a setting here where it won't replay. I guess there's nothing more to say about that. Although somebody's commenting saying, not me questioning my father-in-law to make sure his business is woman-friendly. It is, in case his son needs a few days off. So how do you find out if and again, it's not woman-friendly, it's uterus owners. And that, think about that too. That's pretty transphobic, because what I've heard is this is against all women. And as I've learned, being a liberal, I've heard it said to me, or being more liberal minded, that even woman can have a penis, and it's possible that woman can have a uterus. So why would you be so transphobic, young lady, to not include woman? Maybe, see, that makes sense. That's why she hashtagged it. That's why she says uterus owners and not woman. You see how woke she is? Oh,
they don't care about your signs. They don't care about your signs, slogans, or chants. Fuck up the economy.
I worked in local municipal government for about 5 years now, in a 7-1 Democratic city, very progressive. Mayor's Democrat. We have a supermajority in the city council. They don't care about your signs. They don't.
All right. Well, let's
I
move.
think it is about time that we do this here in America. Women should just go on strike. No working, no cooking, no cleaning, no child rearing. Let's see how long society can continue if women just choose not to participate anymore. It took Iceland one day to realize the value of women. One day. I think it is about time that we do this.
Is the value of woman, is it limited to her ability to reproduce? It turns out, I think that what I was going to complain about here originally, which was going to be the sex strike, no one has mentioned the sex strike yet. In this one, I looked for tags woman strike. I think they wisened up because they didn't want to appeal to conservatives who would say stop having premarital sex, stop having any sex if you don't want to have a child, because if you have sex, that's a good chance you might have a child, especially unprotected sex, right? So if you have a sex strike, sounds like a great plan, especially on TikTok. What's this young lady have to say?
There will be no celebrating 4th of July whatsoever. Don't do it. Don't participate because
Don't celebrate 4th of July.
look what's happening. Really? There will be no
That was it. So she just said, look, because look what's happening, really. What's happening? Friends was taken off Netflix. What's happening? There will be no celebration on the 4th of July. Okay. And what she writes is she says, there will be not celebrating the independence of this ghetto country at all, is what this young lady tagged her TikTok video as. Okay. I would say that maybe it'd be a good idea that we strike this country for its public education.
So when's the strike, ladies?
It's been decided July 3rd through the 5th.
This is it.
We're not buying. We're not working. We're not posting. We're not doing anything. Are you with us?
Oh, she thumbed.
So when's the strike?
She thumbed up. So TikTok's fun because you can do a little duet. She thumbed up. So again, no mention of sex, but she did say we're not doing anything. It seems to me like you could still, if you're a man and you're into promiscuity and you're looking for promiscuous women, you can still find them. They're going to have sex still. They don't want to satisfy the religious right by saying we're not having sex. We're going to have sex to really piss you off, and we're not going to do anything. We're not going to buy any products. Okay. Let's see what we got next.
So women in the United States are organizing a protest on June 30th. I received this message via DM today, and I think it
now it's June 30th. 3 days.
Should continue all the way to July 4th, not just one day.
Yeah, why not? So, woman, you got to get with the program. We got July 3rd through 5th. And should I say woman or uterus owners? Because we're excluding those women who don't have uteruses. And I guess if you've had a hysterectomy, you don't have a say. You know, that is what I learned with liberalism too, is that if you're a man, you have no say in anything a woman can do. And it appears if you are uterusless, you don't, which is not only transphobic, but it is infertile phobic. It is hysterectomy phobic. Thanks for that, Tony 4445.
Look at you now. You ain't
Now she says that might have been too loud for you. I apologize. I can't control the volume here with what they're doing. Casual hookups are no longer worth the risk. Refuse all what? Penetrative segs. I guess TikTok discriminates against you if you spell out sex until you are deeply committed and they have enough resources to cover any and all potential treatments, travel you might need to guarantee your she says reproductive health, ability to kill your baby. Okay. Your fetus. No penetrative sex. So here, this lovely lady, she wants to seduce you with her body. Not really my type, to be honest. And again, I prayed I'd be nice here. So I'm going to do my best not to judge on appearances. But I do find it funny. She's fine with any kind of segs that is not penetrative, which might be fine for your average guy for a couple days. And then again, back to the casual hookup thing. This is what the kind of stuff I was looking for. Yeah. Okay. That sounds great. No premarital sex. Yay.
Why don't women go on strike as much as men? Given what's recently happened in the United States with Roe versus Wade, I think it's important to make a video to answer that question and explain at its base level what a strike effectively is. A strike in the private sector is a really simple thing. It's effectively saying that you have something that your boss needs, and that's the labor that you provide. If you withdraw your labor or stop doing your job, then your boss can no longer make money.
It's such a conflicting thing here for liberals because I have a feeling here, and I'm not, what is the person named? Osti Fabkins. I have a feeling that this person is a trans. And so if you're trans, and there's a possibility that this person, well, I can't really tell. Is it a man? Is it a biological male who has become female? Or it gets confusing because it's important because if it's a biological male who now is a she is not a uterus owner, which would therefore make anything you have to say null and void. You don't have a say in here. Now let's assume this is a biological female who wants to be a male, but then now we're confused too, because if you are a man, because you identify as a man, even though you have a uterus, well, if you're a uterus owner, that's fine. But because you're not a woman, so it depends on how you view it. If I identify you as a man, you can't have a say about a woman, or you're a man with a uterus as long as you're a uterus owner. I don't know. Let's just see a couple more. This I think is going to be a little boring here.
Because they can no longer produce. The conversation goes something like this.
Okay.
Hey, this thing I do for you for 8 hours a day seems to be making you heaps of money, but you treat me like garbage. Could you maybe not do that? You think I'm made of money? How will I feed my children if I stop treating you like garbage? Well, I guess I'll just stop doing the thing that makes you heaps of money for a while until you stop treating me like garbage. The boss now has 3 choices. They can yield to your demands and get you back to work. They can try to wait you out and just lose money until you hopefully go back to work of your own accord. Or they can bring in someone else to do your job.
Yes, and
now, you're probably not going to want someone else to just turn up and do your job while you're on strike trying to get a better deal.
Right.
So you might block off the workplace, which is what's called a picket line. They can be very dramatic, but if I'm being honest, I've been to a few, and they're mostly just waiting around. The type of strike I'm talking about means that the public remains largely unaffected. Even if there are going to be any rises to the cost of products, it's likely going to take many months to trickle down into the supermarket. So, well,
if I'm honest, and with all apologies to my good friend Ace Theo, this is only making the stream.
I'm not telling you about Rob Reed's channel so that you'll go over there because it's pretty boring. You know, you got to bring your own excitement to the whole thing.
So this particular person is not bringing the excitement. So we're going to move on.
Peach Scone Pop said, okay, so imagine 1 week every year men get treated like women. But Iceland actually did this for a day. In real life, Iceland did this. In October 1975, the women of Iceland all took a day off. It was total chaos. The economy shut down. Basic life broke. Hospitals, schools, nursing homes, grocery stores, they all either shut down or operated at half capacity. It was kind of like COVID. And the men had a kind of terrible time. They bribed the kids on sugar, then took them to work. That didn't work. Then about halfway through the day, a lot of them pulled their older kids out of school to babysit the younger kids. Also did not go well. Then the grocery stores sold out of sausages, which was kind of like their microwave meals. Senior bankers and managers had to become the cashiers and bank tellers. They didn't know how, so that didn't go well either. The next day,
You see how ridiculous this is, because it showcases 50 years ago the sexism that existed. It turns out that bank tellers aren't all women now. It turns out that nurses aren't all women now. So it's so myopic. They're so blind, these commentators. And this is a problem. Look, it's not just with liberal thinking. It's I can feature some conservative Christians and on other issues. I'm sure that maybe I'll do that. And I don't know how long I'm going to do this and maybe open it up. We'll talk about the sex strike in a little bit and talk about maybe Roe versus Wade and what happened. We'll try and limit it to that. But what happened 50 years ago in Iceland is not going to work now, because those areas that I guess were affected in Iceland were predominantly woman roles. And in 1975, there was no such thing as the frozen burrito in the microwave. If my wife strikes and says that she's not going to make dinner, I'm going to go get pizza. And my son's not going to have a problem with that. And the only thing that'll be a problem is that we're spending more money than we normally would on pizza every day. If we don't have enough money and our food budget is not working, then we will buy frozen burritos. And so long as my microwave does not have a uterus, I don't think I'm going to have a problem. Let's move on to the next one.
Will the suspect please take the stand? Mr. Goofy, is it?
Yeah.
Mr. Goofy, you are...
All right. Something about Goofy. When I thought I would be going to Denver Pride as a woman with rights. Well, this is a whole other can of worms. If this, I'm assuming, since she wanted to go to Denver Pride, she's identifying as gay. And this is an interesting aside here, because if she is a woman identifying as gay and a trans woman came up to her, and as a trans woman, I mean a woman with a penis, came up to her at this Pride thing and said, I'm really attracted to you. I'm a lesbian woman with a penis. Would you hook up with me? If she says no, she's a transphobe. It's a conundrum if you're gay too. So this one, when I thought I would be going to Denver Pride as a woman with rights in 2022, now she's goofy.
Will the suspect please take the stand? Mr. Goofy, is it?
Yeah.
Mr. Goofy, you are...
And that was it. Okay, I don't with the music, she's definitely sex striking. National Women's Rights Strike. None of us go to work. None of us buy anything. No, then, all right. I'll be honest with you. Let's do this. I am more interested in hearing sex strike stuff. So you'll forgive me. We're gonna go to the sex strike. Oh, and this one, she was featured, I think, on Matt Walsh today. So you'll forgive me here as all right, we're gonna go back here. This lovely lady, you're gonna like what she has to say.
Sex. I'm not kidding. What if we use our most powerful protesting option and withhold sex from penises until this is made right?
So withhold sex from penises. So this might be transphobic, because if the person with the penis identified as a woman and wanted to have sex with this person was a transphobe if they said they wouldn't have sex with the woman with the penis. And that is transphobic. Horribly transphobic.
I just want you all to know that I wholeheartedly support this. Just to show them how serious you are, I think you should shoot for 10 years minimum. So leftist women all over the country, get on board with this. Commit. Show them you mean business. I know you can do this. Let's go. I just want you all to...
He's being funny.
The sex
here we
strike
go.
has begun. Now I'm going to read.
I saw this one. I have a feeling this one's a trans as well. Certainly, it's hard to tell. But she's excited about the sex strike. And she's talking about how this guy who's 20, he's 20-year-old male, and he came out and he's writing to some advice Reddit or something, it looks like. And he says, my 20-year-old girlfriend won't have sex with me unless I get a vasectomy. We use condoms and she's on birth control, but she says it's not enough because of the chance that she's not going to be able to get an abortion if I get her. Now, look, the other thing with this is that there are a lot of people who have talked about the fact, like one of my problems with abortion has always been those who use it as a catch-all, as a birth control, like your last resort birth control. And the comment related to that has always been that it's not about birth control, it's just about women's rights. And most women do use it as a form of birth control. And yet the sex strike thing is revealing that that's exactly the case. And so this young 20-year-old female doesn't want to have sex with her unmarried, of course, doesn't want to have sex with her boyfriend because of the chance that she won't be able to use the ultimate birth control. And this gal, I think a gal, certainly identifies as a gal by all appearances, thinks this is a great idea. Let's get
My girlfriend said she won't have sex or do any part, especially with my family, break up or have a sexless relationship. A part of me feels like she's being unfair, but also not because she is scared and her rights were just taken away from her. I feel like I'm going crazy. Which way of thought is right? So yeah, look at that. When rights get taken away, it's an inconvenience for everyone. Maybe this will get things to change.
That's confusing. So when the boyfriend has a right to sex with his girlfriend, is that what it is? So when your rights are taken away, that's interesting.
Ladies,
I should say,
the
too,
sex strike has begun.
that it appears to me you cannot talk about men's rights because you clearly are a woman and you don't have the ability to talk about my rights as a man.
Ladies.
If you are an American with a uterus, boy, do I have some inspirational reading material for you. And I'm not talking about The Handmaid's Tale because that book's going to end up on the banned books list once it crosses Aunt Lydia's desk. I'm talking about Lysistrata, the timeless tale about women who were so sick of men's shit that they instituted a sex strike until their point of view was finally fucking respected. Yeah. So I suggest you take a page from Aristophanes, invest in some D batteries, and shut down the road to Meow Meow Town. Pull access to the Punana. You have
Meow Meow Town, the Punana.
Power. If you are in a...
Okay. Well, this guy appears to be of male persuasion. Whether he's straight or gay, I don't know. If he's gay and he won't have sex with a woman without a penis who identifies as a man, that makes him a transphobe. So he may very well be a transphobe. You don't have a right, sir, because you have a penis, to have any, this is what I've learned, to have any comment on the discussion. So you'll forgive me those that have come in here. Talk about having your balls on a shelf. Cheryl! There are two balls on the shelf. You can't see there's one over here too. It's hidden. And I'm too far away from the camera to move it. That is awful. Let's see. Bruce says, I don't even identify as a penis. It is complicated. Indeed. Smokey's prostate gland. Poor demons can't mutter their kids anymore. Wow. See, oh gosh, people, I need to get glasses. That's what we're going to do. I don't think the dentist will be too torturous anyway. I have one little, okay. You're talking, hope your teeth are okay, Ivan. Thank you for joining us here. What else do we have here? Hi, Conrad. Those have writing on them. You might be talking. The ball here just says Little League. I have autographs. See, I'm going to bring it and show it anyway. These are autographs of the kids I coached. This is the first year I coached. It's really, really sweet. And the bad idea here, and this is an aside, was that these kids were like 4, 5, and 6 years old, and some of them couldn't write. And I had the great idea to, how about they autograph the ball for everybody? And some of these kids were like, and the parents had to sign it for them. But it's still cute. Here's Bull, Johnny, and that's definitely written by an adult. Robert, Justin, that was written by Justin. Ava, Jocelyn, she was older. Kai was interesting because if you watch Stranger Things and you watch the latest season, the kid, it starts with a paper boy. And the paper boy is Kai. Kai is I coached the paper boy in the first scene of Stranger Things. All right, we're done with that. And the way he got that gig is his dad's a stunt person who does all the stunt work on. He organizes it. Anyway, that's another aside. Why don't we get back to some of the fun here? But then St. Tommy's here as well. Hello, sir. Who shaves baseballs anyhow? There's no need. Well, you should some pitchers shave the baseballs. And like they would use sandpaper in order to get an edge on it. The cutter might work a little bit better. So we'll leave it there. Let's keep watching some of this. I'm excited because I think we got into the sex strike stuff now. I think the conservative Christian, once again, would be all for the sex strike.
Drew breaks the news. I break it so you can buy it.
He looks
27.
conservative. We're going to pass
White
him.
women, I say this with love. You are so well-intentioned, but you're repeating past mistakes right now, and we need to fix it. This is a perfect example. A sex strike? Are you kidding me?
Bette Midler.
Do you know how big a
strike.
slap in the face this is to poor women who are up to 12 times more likely to be raped than middle-class women?
Okay. See, this is virtue signaling at its finest. Now, Tommy, I think, has even called me a virtue signaler. I don't want to cast aspersions, Tommy, but I think, yeah, because sometimes I do virtue signal. I think virtue signaling it's not the purpose why I would try and fight for the rights for someone else. But this one, especially when you do it as a TikTok public video, you can't help but decide, like, you're trying to say, like, look how great I am because I'm smarter than you other women who are calling for sex strike. And her new spin on it is the reason the sex strike is wrong is because people get raped. What does that mean? In the inner cities, people get raped. So stop the sex strike so people can get raped. I don't understand. Explain it to me more. What's her name? Dear White Allies. Gosh, is she virtue signaling? Woke monster.
Women and also more likely to depend on sex work for survival.
Oh, for the prostitutes. You started out, young lady, with rape. Don't do the sex strike because some people get raped. So we're gonna record scratch the rape thing. I don't know where that came from, but really it's about the sex workers. Ladies, it's horrible, this lady explains, for you to have a sex strike because there are women out there that depend on sex to make a living, is her point, I think.
Women are voting for these abortion bans and their Republican husbands are writing the laws.
Yeah.
They're not going on a sex strike even if they had the choice. So what?
Yeah, so the conservative wives of conservative men, they're not sex striking. So that's not the problem. What we need to do is get the prostitutes that these conservative men use. Maybe that's what she's saying.
Liberal women are going to punish our partners for what the right wing is doing?
That's right. If you're going to be woke, woman, don't hurt your partners. I think this woman, she likes her partner. She likes having sex with her presumably male partner. Because if she was a lesbian, they'd both be uterus owners and it wouldn't matter. So she's angry because people are telling her, a woman, I think, who maybe likes sex, she likes it, and she doesn't want to be deprived of it. Maybe she's even indicating here, not virtue signaling, that she is someone who does sex work. Maybe. She's an attractive young lady.
How does that make sense?
It doesn't
You know
make
who's
sense.
not calling for a sex strike?
Who's not?
Black women. Understand that this beautiful.
Wait, that sounds racist to me somehow. Do you know who's not calling for a sex strike? Black women? Just in general? All right. I can't. She's probably Hispanic, I would guess. So I'm going to use her quote. I'm going to write it so I have a pad here. You know who is not calling for a sex strike? Black woman. Now, I can't tell if she's saying that because a lot of black women are prostitutes that she's trying to assist here, or black women just like sex too much to stop it. I'm not sure what point she's trying to make about black women here, but it sounds like a woke racist.
Beautiful underground sisterhood that you're building is still not reaching the most vulnerable and targeted population. But you can fix it, white women. This is your moment to correct.
Fix it, white women. This is your moment. Dear, and this is Dear White Allies TikTok. Oh my goodness.
Your ancestors' mistakes. And the way you do it is very simple.
Yeah.
Follow the lead of black women who have already been doing this work. Black.
Wait a minute. Well, so white women stop the sex strike, follow the lead of black women who've been doing this work. What are they doing?
Women have literally created an intersectional framework for reproductive justice.
Okay.
Read it, absorb it, support it. Let black women guide this movement. We need your voice and energy and privilege, white women. But unless this movement liberates those who are most oppressed.
You need white privilege? Now you need white privilege. Is it any wonder I became a registered independent in the last year? Now, look, I can't go to the other side because there are people just as crazy for me on that other side that I can't go there. I feel most comfortable wading in the political waters in the middle right now because extremists are taking over. This is ridiculous. White privilege is bad, but she's saying we need your white privilege. And the way you can utilize your white privilege is read this book written by black women about reproductive rights.
It will always fall flat. None of us are liberated until all of us are liberated. The way forward is clearer and easier than you realize. Black women have the blueprints for collective liberation.
What she doesn't realize here too, and this is a part of the woke mob, that there's so much confusion there. When she uses the phrase black woman, that includes every woman that she personally, and there's no doubt this woman believes that a woman can have a penis. She's including women that have a penis, and a black woman who has a penis and doesn't have a uterus should have no say. She's not a uterus owner, should have no say in reproductive rights. Right? Because the reason that I can't have a say in reproductive rights is I don't have a uterus. Done with this one. Too woke for me.
Why a sex strike doesn't scare me?
We already know.
I'm angry. You know.
All right, I've seen this one. Now you get an attractive young lady, and she says, boys, when they realize we are willing to put a screeching halt to hookup culture and unprotected sex if they take away your rights. All right. Once again, for the religious right that you're complaining about, that you believe is established this, you're saying, you know what? We're just going to stop having, what was the word? We're stopping the hookup culture. And the religious right goes, oh, great.
I'm angry. You know, I'm getting totally screwed over here. The deal was that if I win the Hunger Games, I get to live the rest of my life in peace. But now, you want to kill me again. But you know what?
You think we can't do it by choice?
I'm angry. You know, I'm getting totally screwed over. The deal was that if I win the...
Yeah, I mean, have at it. You're an attractive lady. Unfortunate for your Tinder guys that you would have normally hooked up with for no reason, because you can't use abortion as birth control. Thanks on so many levels for, well, one, doing what the religious right thinks is a great idea. Stop hookup culture. And then two, if you don't hook up, you're not going to get an abortion. And three, not using abortion as birth control. Sounds great. you're not harming anybody but the guys that you're hooking up with. And maybe if there's any blessing to this, maybe it's that some woman will realize, like, maybe we should not have hookup culture at all. And maybe if we're placing ourselves at risk of having pregnancy, maybe we'll just stop having premarital sex or until we want to, or we'll use super effective methods of birth control. I don't know. Let's move on. See if we got a couple more of these. All right, he's making my point.
Women in the world have conducted.
Joy Behar, I know it's going to happen there. Oh, and then I've got nothing left. There's got to be more. This is annoying. Load more. That's what we're going to do. All right, we're going to start with this one. Yeah, she's laughing, I think. So this lady totally looks like she's going to be for the sex strike. I'm going to turn that down for you. Yeah, she's coming in with music. Ladies, maybe if we stop reproducing with sexist men, maybe they'll die out. What let's see. I'm speechless. Or she adds to it, or at least try to educate themselves, because otherwise women will completely ignore them. Hashtag sex strike, hashtag TikTok traditions, hashtag feminism, hashtag bi, hashtag gender, hashtag equality. What this has to do with gender? Bi, I don't know. I'm turning the sound off because it's loud. Does she have anything? No, she didn't have anything.
That a 20-something-year-old woman in my extended family was taken out by her parents because she fell in love with a Christian guy. Our family is Hindu. This happened in like the 1970s or 80s in India.
Okay.
Allegedly. These are referred to as honor killings, and they happen in South Asian and Middle Eastern countries till today. And the underlying value system of them is that women's sexual lives are communal resources, ones that are dictated by society. And the patriarchy has such a need to control women's lives that they are going as far as punishment by death. And
I'll say this, she gets plus points immediately. I've said this before. I was an English major in college, and I knew that the way for me to get at least a B plus, even in the most bull lesbian-ish class, the professor who hated men, I knew that I could get at least a B plus if every paper that I wrote, I used the word patriarchal society, misogyny. We know misogyny's coming up here, I think. We're going to get, but she used patriarchy. And the other thing was, what was the other? Oh, if I was pro-homosexuality. Now, let's see. In her hashtags here, she doesn't say anything. There's no bi or gender. So there's no homosexuality here. But let's see. So she's trying to make a comparison to honor killing, which we'll agree is bad. And allowing a woman to kill her fetus. I mean, I could turn it around and talk about how society, liberal society in particular, is pro-murder, and spin it that way and spin it the reverse, rather than talking about honor killings and just talk about using abortion as birth control, right? Let's see what else she has to say. It's a horrible comparison to say that the reason that male society, I mean, we have two women here right now, Cheryl and I think Erica. Hi, Erica. And maybe some others. But I suspect you're both pro-life and anti-choice. You don't have to tell me either way, but I'm pretty sure that I know. So you're both uterus owners, presumably, or once had them. I don't need to know those details, but I've talked to you before. You don't sound like you're trans. So you have the ability to say. I don't think that you would compare abortion to the patriarchal society's desire to control women and their ability to have sex.
And before Americans feel too good about not having honor killings in America, hold on. We actually have a very similar value set for women's bodies in America. Because if you pay attention to anti-abortionist arguments, they very rarely acknowledge the fact that there is a trade-off happening. That if you are anti-abortion, you are giving up women's bodily autonomy. Because it's so baked into their worldview that women do not own themselves, that they
No. No one, I don't think anyone in the modern era is saying, I don't know many religious rights groups, or let's say conservative groups that are, I know that they promote not having premarital sex. That's biblical. Not fornicating, not, because, and it's God's rule. And I would say because it's better that way. And it's for these reasons. But because we're not talking about a ban on premarital sex or jail for that. If that was the case and it was, a woman could be jailed for having premarital sex, then, and men wouldn't be, then you could say that, it's the desire of society to control women. But that we can't make that same comparison here. It's not the patriarchal society. I mean, you could, but you're not really thinking about this like a smart person, and you're trying to look smart and need to Kinney, I think. Let's continue to hear what you have to say. What is she? She's wearing a shirt that I think says danger.
They are owned by everyone, that it doesn't even seem like a price to pay.
It's basically why it's a bad analogy, young lady. If I was talking with you, is that it's people who want to prevent the killing of babies, of life. In fact, it's the reverse. It would be as if I say that it's like honor killings, but in this sense, the only thing that the fetus did wrong was to be conceived. The fetus did nothing. It is certainly wrong because a woman doesn't listen to her family or something, or goes and runs off with somebody. It is horribly wrong to kill her. But at the same time, it's horribly wrong, thinking that on those same lines, to kill a fetus just because it was the byproduct of fornication. Even if that fornication was horrible, like if it was a rape or incest scenario, it's still not that fetus's fault. So to me, the comparison of honor killing and the horrificness of that is only close in a comparison of killing a fetus dishonorably just because of selfish motive, because of a woman's desire and with a man to be promiscuous, and to, obviously, if you're having an abortion, you did not have sex with the intention of having a child. You had sex with the intention of having pleasure. And to me, a group of people are saying, no, we value the life of that fetus, no matter how it was, if it was not intended and it was solely the byproduct of just two people wanting to get their rocks off. To me, the honor killing comparison is closer to the egregiousness of honor killing is closer to the egregiousness of an abortion. So I don't really get the point of it's not people wanting, and that's why I mentioned the two women in the chat here. It's not about controlling women's bodies, because these two women, they're concerned about the fetus. So why aren't you concerned about the potential life in the same way that you're concerned about a woman who gets killed as a result of the family's desire for honor?
So in reality, we're not really even just fighting for abortion rights. We are actually fighting to recategorize ourselves as being owned by ourselves as opposed to being owned by the community. Because
no, it just means don't open your legs. Like, do the sex strike. Stop having sex if you don't want to have kids. It's that simple. Or make sure you're using effective forms of birth control, maybe more than one. to lessen the chance. And again, it doesn't mean, to go back to where I was from the beginning for people that are new here. Roe was not overturned in the same way that, I would say if abortion was made illegal. Abortion was made legal through Roe. So if Roe was overturned, abortion would be made illegal, and it's not. It became a state issue. It was a cop-out by the Supreme Court for sure. But the bottom line with it is that abortion can still be had. You just have to travel far. And now you got places like Dick's Sporting Goods, and who else came out today? It wasn't Starbucks, was it? I don't know. Some other big chain came out. No, I think it might have even been Disney that said, if you need reproductive health, we're going to go pay for your travel to go to a state that allows it. So again, the decision of Roe, or the decision of this new case, I don't know what it's called yet. No one's talking about the name of it. We're going to know that soon enough. And I haven't paid attention to what the name is. I read a portion of I read Clarence Thomas's agreement with the decision. And that was a laugh, right? That's one that I could, we could talk about that. And I'm condemning a conservative. But anyway, let's go back and see if you're going to make any good point here, Anita.
Because if the right is mostly about holding individual rights over the communal good. So being anti-abortion is actually consistent with their worldview because they don't even see women's bodily autonomy as an individual right.
No, it's like it's seeing the rights of the fetus. It's like too myopic. We have to stop that in discourse. It's the same thing on the other side too. We have to stop saying that people that get abortions are baby killers. Probably not going to convince the people that are agreeing with my version here. I don't think they're baby killers. I think that they want to just have control of what they can do with their body. And that's why it's not a perfect answer. There's no perfect answer here because there's going to be somebody affected. But this being said, it is most definitely not a move by patriarchal society to control women's bodies. If anything, it is to help young men be more self-controlled by not having premarital sex too. And look, I was once a very young man, not anymore. And I also was, as a very young man, was extremely pro-abortion for nothing but selfish reasons. When I was 18 years old, I was so pro-abortion. I can't tell you. Because I wasn't ready to have a baby, but I was totally ready to have mindless sex. Let's continue with her. What do we got? Only 11 more seconds with this young lady with the danger shirt.
Okay, so today is Sex Strike Day 27. If you don't know what that is, watch the pin videos and follow.
Sex Strike Day 27?
I just found out that.
I don't know what that is. Uh-oh.
So I watched this video on TikTok and I saw a girl cut the tag off of a Victoria's Secret bra because there's a tracking device in it.
What?
It looks like there's a tracking device in it. Cut it off at the dotted line.
All right, that's crazy.
Hear me out. If they overturn Roe v. Wade, humans that possess uteruses should collectively get together.
That's transphobic.
And never have sex with men again.
I literally
Never have sex with men again. That one's funny. So this one, she's going to laugh at it. She's going to be funny. What does she have to say? Come on.
said this on Twitter today, and I will 100% be taking part. And also, I have a 5-month head start.
Hear me out. If they overturn Roe v.
Please tell me
Wade,
she's a comedian.
humans that possess uteruses should collectively get together and never have sex with men again.
I literally said this on Twitter today, and I will 100% be taking part. And also, I have a 5-month head start.
She has a 5-month head start, and she's proud of that. This is the potentially the female version of the incel. I think I've never heard incel used with towards a woman. This might be the first instance.
Women of LA, listen to me. I'm exhausted
LA.
with modern day dating culture, and I need your help. Men out here are no longer gentlemen. I am begging you. End hookup culture. If we cut off the sex, their behavior will change. If all of us come together, by not coming together, I'm funny, we can change the dating culture. Send this to your girlfriends. Women of LA.
She didn't mention Roe. Let's see. Will you join my strike? This is Annie K. Schaffer. I suspect she's a comedian. She's being funny, right? LA sex strike, end hookup culture. For the ones that are anti Roe v. Wade, they're on board. Dating advice, hashtag dating in LA, dating hookup, sex strike, single. Yes, don't have sex. Meet somebody. Get to know them. Don't hook up. Don't go to Tinder. What do they do? I don't know. I'm a boomer. Swipe right. You swipe right if you like. You swipe right to have a nice dinner with somebody, to hold hands with somebody, get to know somebody, and maybe marry them, right? Don't hook up. If you don't hook up, I can guarantee you there's 100% chance you will not need an abortion.
Okay, ladies of America, here is the plan. Following the Roe versus Wade, I suggest a sex strike. It is no longer safe to have sex.
It's no longer safe to have sex
in America.
In America. You see, once again, there are places, California, where I live, that LA sex strike she wants. California isn't changing the abortion laws. In fact, California, unfortunately, will probably be the mecca of all abortion. You can bet. California will secede from the union before abortion will be disallowed here. So, young lady, you'll be correct if that does happen, and then California is no longer part of the United States, and then the United States itself, if maybe one day you'll be right, but not now. It's overly dramatic. And she wants, so let's hear more about the sex strike that she thinks is going to be successful here.
Okay, so therefore you withhold it. Sleep with women. Let's go for it.
Okay, so the solution is just be a lesbian. And hey, that is certainly a solution. If you have sex, hookup, free hookups, woman to woman, yeah, I guarantee. Well, let's stop, because did she said hook up with women, didn't she? And then see, there's a little transphobia happening here too. To be fair, let's listen to what she says again here. Okay. She was not careful in saying uterus owners.
In America, so therefore you withhold it. Sleep with women. Let's go for it.
If I am a woman and I sleep with a woman, a person who identifies as a woman, but she has a penis, there is a chance that in that hookup, I could get pregnant, even if that person is on huge amounts of estrogen, right? So that's not a good solution.
Let's advocate some forced lesbianism.
Let's advocate some that's a good quote there. Let's advocate some forced lesbianism. We'll just stew on that for a while.
That's it. It's happened before. It will work again, especially wives of legislators, people in authority, people in government. Sex strike. It's happened before and it will happen again. It's no longer safe to have sex, so don't.
It's no longer safe to have sex, don't. But have it with a woman, but a woman who certainly does not have a penis, which would make her transphobic and a hater. she's anti-woke, it turns out, even though she's trying to be woke. So let's see here. What we've got. Admiral Six Killer, welcome to another Bruce. And hi to Veckel. I don't know if you're still here. Let's see what we got here. I'll open up the chat in a little bit, and maybe I'll stick around a little while if people want to talk about this issue only. I'm going to try and keep the drama limited to the issue. Duck says, can Republicans make it illegal to cross state lines to commit an abortion in another state? Now, here's the conundrum it's a good question. The conundrum the Supreme Court has created for themselves. And I would say and it's not a conundrum, because this is probably the way that the Kavanaughs and the Amy Coney Barretts, they rationalize this in their head. Not Clarence Thomas. Clarence Thomas doesn't give a shit. Pardon the expression. Clarence Thomas wants to. It probably would be, and I think he even mentioned the case that talks about birth control, would be advocating no birth control potentially. I mean, Clarence Thomas is off the reservation, off the rails. And what's another aside with Clarence Thomas is the fact that the legality in the United States of interracial marriage, it turns out Clarence Thomas is married to a white woman. The legality of the ability of a black man to marry a white woman, the Supreme Court ruling that made that formally legal, it made it illegal to deprive a black man from marrying a white woman, that case is only 6 years older than Roe. It's an interesting point to make, because using the same analysis that the Supreme Court used here, you can use that same analysis to say that an individual state, let's say Alabama, can decide that they don't like the idea of blacks marrying whites. And using this case as precedent, you're able to. Based on the reasoning that they used. They said that I had arguments with, it was just a brief argument with somebody on my Facebook. And, is what I said at the beginning, that there seems to be a conflict with the Supreme Court case that came out the day before this one that we're talking about now in New York, where they said that New York couldn't stop someone from concealed carrying. And they said that the state couldn't decide. And one of my Facebook friends, conservatives, said, well, the Constitution expressly provides the right in the Second Amendment for gun ownership and to have a gun. So therefore, so the difference between that case and the abortion one is the Constitution doesn't expressly allow a woman to get an abortion. So using that analysis, though, the Constitution also does not expressly allow a black man to marry a white woman. So it doesn't help us get out of that conundrum if, let's say, we don't want a state to disallow a black man from, or a woman for that matter, being able to marry a white man, the vice versa. It's an interesting state of affairs, though. But back to what you're saying, because there's the Constitution has full faith and I forget what the language is. It has to give full faith and credit to the other state, so you can't, and we can't close our borders. When you're in the United States, you can't close the borders. And so any law by another state, and I think it's the 14th Amendment, could be the 10th. I can't remember. I don't do constitutional law on a daily basis. I took the bar 1995. So what are we, 27 years ago next month. It's a long time. So I don't remember. I'd have to look it up, to be honest. But it is a constitutional protection that if one state, for instance, no one, if I'm gay and I'm not gay, let me not use myself. A gay couple gets married in California. Gay marriage will always stay legal there, and they want to move to Alabama, or Kentucky, who may want to make gay marriage illegal there. Kentucky couldn't invalidate the California marriage license under that full faith and credit idea. So to the question, no, they could try and make it illegal to do it. And in fact, I think the Texas law may, but that would be a constitutional violation of epic proportions if the government is following women to see where they're going and whether or not they're going to an abortion clinic in another state. I mean, that would talk about a violation of right of privacy that I think even Amy Coney Barrett and Mr. Kavanaugh would have an issue with. So let's take a look at more things here. Yeah, Clarence Thomas is the interesting thing about Clarence Thomas and Hyde Sparrow is that he was an Antonin Scalia disciple. This is the absolute truth. If as far as the best candidates out there, Clarence Thomas was not like cream of the crop. Clarence Thomas was a recipient of affirmative action. The idea that we needed to get another black man on the court, and that was the push for him. And I think that I've heard, when I was in law school, he had been a Supreme Court justice for, at that time, maybe close to 10 years, maybe it was like 7 or something. And he had never written a majority opinion himself. I think he has since. He's been on the Supreme Court for over 30 years now, I think. I think he has written a few. I'm not 100% certain, but very few, not many. And he did not write the majority in this particular case. He just wrote a concurring opinion. He used to do stuff where it would just be, yeah, I agree with Mr. Scalia, Judge Scalia. Whatever Judge Scalia says, that's what he says. And I never looked at Clarence Thomas to see if he agreed with Antonin Scalia on criminal procedure stuff. I imagine he may have, because he essentially was a Scalia disciple. But it might be interesting for you to know, I've said it before as a sort of a legal aside, is Antonin Scalia was about as liberal as it gets when it came to criminal rights. And we in law school our professors loved to throw this out at us with criminal procedure to go, and it happened. The professors couldn't get away with it after the first, second, third time. But we'd read this opinion, and you'd be like, when I was in law school, I was pretty liberal. I wasn't ultra, but I was pretty liberal. And I would read some of these opinions, and I'd be like, dude, this is so pro-criminal. This is making me uncomfortable. Like, it's pretty clear that the criminal committed the crime, and the police did pretty good stuff. But whoever this justice is totally ultra liberal that even I disagree. And the professors would put this big smile on their face and say, that was written by Antonin Scalia. He was an interesting guy. And he was one who would at least have good legal analysis. And this latest one, there's just no good legal analysis. It was, as far as I'm concerned, from a legal standpoint, this was nothing but political. And that makes me uncomfortable and should make us all uncomfortable with our Supreme Court, because we don't want our justices to be involved in politics. And that's why I love, Roberts, because Roberts in many cases is conservative, but has sided with, particularly with the idea of stare decisis. And you've probably heard this. Stare decisis is the idea that we give deference. The Supreme Court is supposed to give deference to decisions that have been made in the past. And it's supposed to be very, very difficult to turn it over. And that's why this court did not completely say abortion's illegal, and that will never happen. I can't see that possibly happen if you want that to happen. And that was the only, they'd use this loophole to say, well, that we'll just make the states decide. And I've already told you why that's a problem and incredibly problematic, because thank God the Supreme Court didn't use that type of thinking when it came to slavery, because that could have been, in the end, the legal decision and law of the land of this country, that a particular state could decide whether or not they wanted to enslave blacks. That would have been bad news. And that's the slippery slope that we kind of live and die on here. So I just think as it relates to Clarence Thomas, let's just say he hasn't helped the Supreme Court at all. He hasn't really contributed much to it. And he may very well be a super nice guy in real life. And based on his sense of humor and those hearings with Anita Hill and the pubic hair and the Coke can, I think that Clarence Thomas and I would have a right old good time with our horrible sense of humor. But I just don't think, I don't think I'd be great on the Supreme Court either. So that Mr. Thomas and I have two things in common. All right. Enough of this, lady. Let's do a couple more.
Follow this sound.
There's no doubt. Let's do this as a game too. Is she going to be pro-sex strike or anti-sex strike? And I try not to read anything. She looks to me like she's woke, liberal woke. All right. Maybe we'll unfortunately, there's a lot of lag here. So I'll look. Put your votes in for whether this young lady is going to be woke pro-sex strike or not. And we'll give you, maybe we'll start counting as a contest. I'll give you a +1. Yeah, let's do that. Do it as a contest. I think she's going to be woke. But let's see I've given you time to read what her shirt says backwards. Something misanthrope, maybe? Yeah, that could be misanthrope. Yeah, she's definitely woke. That's like if you wear a shirt like that, you want to tell everyone how smart you are, right? It's like my shirt. I want to tell you what a lumberjack I am.
There are like 4 or 5 TikToks of a woman putting up her conversations on dating apps, telling men that if they want sex, they have to have a vasectomy. I fully support this message. If you are a woman on a dating app and you are still dating, I suggest that you change your profile to some sort of protest. Like either men are cut off until the abortion laws change, or you require that they show you their vasectomy paperwork.
Now, this is transphobic. Again, what a conundrum for our woke brethren in humanity. Because she's making an assumption here that men don't have vaginas. This protest, young lady, I was right, by the way. And well done, Sparrow. You got the woke. And well done, Bruce. This was an easy one. You can't exclude men who have vaginas. How dare you?
Before you're willing to put out, because I mean, after all, if there's the possibility that you are going to be treated as an incubator or get charged with murder if you miscarry, it's only fair that
see, stop. Murder if you miscarry. Look, I think the Texas law had some strange language in it that if you stretched it, you could, and if you were a crafty lawyer and you wanted to go after women that miscarried, I think you could apply it to miscarriages as well. But nobody is going to support imprisoning someone for a miscarriage, unless it was like with a coat hanger in your closet and you did it on your own, then you got some issues, I suppose. But if you naturally miscarry, come on, Ms. Woke. Now, look, a lot of my conservative brethren, they make exaggerations like this too, and it's really frustrating. But stop. Just stop. All right? She's got 11 more seconds, and it's not worth it. Woke. Now, here we go. Next one.
What if we withhold?
Okay, we've already seen that one. She's pointing. Now, this gal on the right is a pro-sex strike. says sex strike here. Her look here on the left kind of makes me think that she's making fun of her, though. But then it could be like solidarity, right? So I'm saying that this woman on the left, Maria Mai, is probably woke too. Now you can make your votes.
Hold sex.
Yeah, there's
I'm
a
not
thumbs
kidding.
up.
Girl, I'm down, but that won't work every time because then we'll get raped. 1 out of 6 women get raped. I mean, I'm still gonna do it, but just be careful, ladies.
Oh, God. This seems to be man-phobic to me. If you don't give us sex, we're going to rape you. So she's going to do it too. So this was woke upon woke. We didn't get to see this young lady, Maria Mai. We see her commenting to a commenter to another comment. This is why I don't like TikTok. Watch out for men, ladies. If you're going to stop having premarital hookup sex, they're going to rape you.
Okay, so women are
Okay. There is no doubt in my mind, this is woke. Forgive me again. I don't have glasses. That's kind of far away. Does that say orgasm gap? I'm reading behind her. It has been found that lesbian and bisexual women have significantly more orgasms. So not only is she going to be woke pro sex strike, she looks like she might side for the same team, if you'll allow me that. And she wants more casual hookups with women. So for her, the lesbian that probably loves sex, and of course it'd be lesbian sex. Now, the only question that we would have here is whether she's going to reveal herself as a transphobe, right? Now, if she just uses, she has to not be a transphobe, but it would still be transphobic. She needs to say, to not be a transphobe, that it's okay to have sex with women with penises. If she only says that she wants lesbian sex and presumes that a woman is defined as someone without a penis, then she's sort of shooting herself in the woke foot. I think she's going to shoot herself in the woke foot. So we know she's woke already based on the background. I got it from the way she looks. Now reading the background, there's no doubt she's super woke. The only issue is whether she's a transphobe. So you can vote on transphobe, not transphobe. And the only way that this young lady's not going to be a transphobe is if she says that she is willing to have lesbian sex with a woman who has a penis. Her name is Music by Denise. Come on, Music by Denise. Don't let me down. I think you're a woke transphobe.
expected to have 100% of the responsibility for an unwanted pregnancy. They want us to take hormonal birth control, which can cause blood clot, stroke, death, from the age of like 16, let's say. Or we can use condoms, except that's...
Or you could not have sex. That's what they, quote, they want you to do. The religious right doesn't want you to have premarital sex. Why don't you just take issue with that? Right? Because when you say they, that's who you're talking about. They is the religious right who says no premarital sex, and therefore, there would be no need for abortion if you didn't have sex outside of marriage. Okay? So here we go. What do you got for me? Don't let me down. Lesbian transphobe.
That's the man's responsibility, and either they don't know how to use them, which is probably like 80% of the time, or they do use them and they take them off without telling you, which is called stealthing. That's
yeah, men. Again, it's a men hate. Men, they're gonna rape you. That's what we saw a couple of videos ago. If we have the sex strike, be careful. Men are gonna rape you and they're gonna stealth you. So don't have casual sex, because if you do, they're gonna secretly take that condom off and you're not gonna know.
also not against the law in most places.
But I want to get to this is a 56. We've got 24 seconds left to get to the premise of what's behind her, which is women should just have a strike against men, sleep with other uterus owners, and you'll have more orgasms, is what that says. Come on, get to the point.
So basically, we're fucked. And for what? 6% of women say they get anything from sex.
6% of women. I didn't see that in there. Wow. That's got to be a wrong stat. I'm not tooting my own horn. If you're with the same person for a long time, you kind of figure stuff out. You say, you draw a map. At least after you're married for at least 2 decades, you've reached the stage, and I can tell you from personal experience, but we were, TMI, but you can draw a map and say, this works for me. This, that doesn't so much work. This works. This will get me there. This will get me there quicker. Communication, man, it's a great thing. And that's a great thing about the marital relationship. When you're with, one thing I could suggest in assisting with a good orgasm would be to actually be connected with your partner for longer than, I don't know, a right swipe on the Tinder and a coffee, the half-hour coffee, and then let's go back to the apartment. Your chances of orgasm are probably a lot less than someone that you're in love with, really into. If you are having casual hookup sex and closing your eyes, you got this fat, tubby, sweaty guy over you, the only one that you could find, it totally didn't look like his profile picture, and you have to close your eyes and you're thinking of Jason Momoa, there's a 6% chance that that'll work for you. Then it's 6%. But that should be the solution for you, is find somebody to love before you do that, and then better chance. Instead of the solution I think this lady's trying to give us, which is become a lesbian. And again, a transphobic lesbian.
You know what I mean? So literally, we're taking 100% of the risk for this activity that brings us mostly nothing. So I say sex strike. I really think sex strike. Okay, so women are...
All right, well, she didn't go so far as to say lesbian sex, but isn't that the presumption that we can make? If we only have a 6% chance, according to her, of having an orgasm, so it's really not worth our while to have sex in the first place. To me, the only logical conclusion would be then we need to have sex with uterus owners. Uterus owners should only have sex with uterus owners because they have as it says behind this lady, they have a significantly higher chance. Ooh, I'm spilling water. Sorry. Let's see. It's God telling me to stop being so filthy. All right. Let's take a look at some of the comments here. How are you? Sounds like a lot of man haters. Yeah, that's what it looks like for me here. This is not. My grandparents were married for 68 years. I guarantee you, Sparrow, they'd figured all that out. Now, look, I don't want to cast aspersions on Grandpa. Especially, the older set. It wasn't. We're more woke in today's society, and I think it's a good thing. You see me wiping the water here. This is what guys do. So that's why if you're as we watched the earlier commentary of the woman saying they're going to stop working, cleaning and stuff. Guys don't care. This is how we clean. I'm gonna use my shirt. I spilled some water. I just use my shirt. And then my wife would complain, why are you using your shirt? Because it's easy. And I don't mind feeling wet on my arm for a half hour. Okay? It's perfectly fine. So go ahead and strike, women. If the sex thing doesn't work for you and you want to do the work thing, we'll figure it out. Like I said, frozen burritos. Deep dihydrogen monoxide. Phobe equals a fear of, I am not afraid of transmissions. I work on at least 3 to 4 a week. But serious. So he's not a transphobe because he works with a lot of transmissions. It is interesting to say that I've heard it, that mechanics refer to the transmissions as tranny. They work. What are you doing today, Mr. Mechanic? I'm working on on a tranny. Oh, I'm wondering if this is my buddy from England, but I'm not sure. Let me see if he indicates himself. What if we labeled them as traditional phobes or some other nonsense? I hate the transphobe thing, the word, because I'm not. I have to just show myself here. I'm not a transphobe. I'm a penis phobe. That's the bottom line. So, and I'm trying to make an atheist thing, because like atheists will say that like a Christian is an atheist, just believes in one more God than they do, and I am an apenist. Penist. I don't know how we're going to work this out, because there's one penis that I'm perfectly fine with. I know that's TMI, but I'm just saying one penis I'm perfectly fine with. That's mine. Any other, I'm very, very phobic. Like if one was in my face, it's like, nah, don't, I'm afraid of that. I don't like that. I can say that. So if you call yourself a woman, but you're a biological male, you're a woman with a penis, it's not like I'm afraid of you as a human being, as a trans person. I'm afraid of your penis. That's it. Now, that being said, if you decided to lop it off, I still probably no, because you'd still have the same features. It's like, I like the natural biological hourglass figure, and not every woman has an hourglass figure, and that's fine. This means you're a woman that I'm not going to be attracted to. Sorry. And so if you're a biological male, but trans, identify as a woman, and then you cut your junk off, but you still look like a man, but with his junk cut off. Sorry. And that's okay. There are some guys that maybe don't like hips. I like hips. Anyway, there's two TMI here. There's so many clips that could be used against me here. I think the older you get, I'm 53, you just don't care. This is fun. I'm having a good time. We'll open it up in a little bit. A few more of these. So we pegged her, but she disappointed me. She didn't show that she was a transphobe, but I suspect that she is.
Somehow, I don't think anyone's going to mind if Joy Behar goes on strike.
All right, that was funny. Sorry, that was probably too loud. Joy Behar floats sex strike. This is war on women. Yeah, so she's being funny. Yeah, Joy Behar, not the most attractive woman in the world. All right, let's go back here. We're going to load a couple more, and then we're going to have some fun, because we've extinguished that group there. There's plenty of material here. Some more Joy Behars, but this was Sex Strike Day 3. This is the gal that we already saw once. All right. If you hear stuff in the background, the cleaning crew's here. When daylight savings time happens, like to me, it feels like it's 5. Everyone's out of the office, so that's why I decided to do this. All right. So this one starts with, but this is the Indian woman that we saw. No, maybe she looked Indian to me, but remember the one talking about the honor killings? This will be the last group that we'll do. Pro-lifers seeing a pregnant teen after shaming them into keeping it. All right, let's see what they're going to do.
Oh! Ew! Dude! What the fuck? Oh! Ew! Dude! What the fuck?
All right, well, that wasn't the woman. That's the one I clicked. That really was useless. That didn't help us at all.
If you are an American with a uterus, boy, do I have some inspirational reading material for you. And I'm not talking about The Handmaid's Tale.
Now, Meow Meow Town. Now, the one on the left, that could very well be a trans woman. Looks very trans woman to me. We're going to see what they say. Overtired mom. Can't be a mom and be a trans woman, so maybe an actual woman. I have a feeling that we're going to get just a thumbs up from this gal. Just has that vibe.
Because that book's going to end up on the banned books list once it crosses Aunt Lydia's desk. I'm talking about Lysistrata, the timeless tale about women who were so sick of men's shit that they instituted a sex strike until their point of view was finally fucking respected. So I suggest you take a page from Aristophanes, invest in some D batteries, and shut down the road to Meow Meow Town. Pull access to the Punana. You have power. If you...
Yeah, she liked that. She didn't thumb up, but she did the... All right. That was a waste. Sorry.
So they're about to overturn Roe v. Wade in the Supreme Court.
Didn't overturn it.
And the only power that we have left as women over our own bodies is to withhold sex.
Okay.
So until men from all over the place start rallying around women, and until they are as angry as we are about this attack on our own bodies, we withhold sex. They don't get it. They don't get sex.
All right. Now, I suppose it'd be very effective for the married men. Maybe she's married, but again, as we talked before, this you're helping the cause. The religious right that would be anti-abortion is totally on board with you, not you ending hookup culture. Sounds great. I think that's where we'll leave it, because I don't have any more to go to here. Let's take a look here. I think I could probably do something fun here. Let's see if I see, like, I'm working on this right here, but behind me I could probably, I think there's a layer here that I can edit. Please don't make fun of me for looking like I can't see, because I can't. I'm going to add a new layer in the back, and I think that I could let's take this down. Forgot about that. And we could put up the actual StreamYard window. See, there we are. And then I could actually zoom in on just the comments. That'd be kind of cool, right? Forgive me here. This is one of those moments here where my good friend is totally correct.
I'm not telling you about Rob Reed's channel so that you'll go over there, because it's pretty boring. You know, you got to bring your own excitement to the whole thing.
I hope that you brought your own excitement. It's not helping us. Let's see if I can expand that. Yeah, that works there. All right. Do something like that. I don't know. That's sort of neat there. If we look through, the only thing is you're going to see me squinting. Yeah, but, and it's sort of like superfluous too, because I could just like highlight it on the bottom there, but that's okay. Why don't we put it in? Let's have a discussion regarding whatever you want, I guess. But I'm thinking we've lost a lot of people, which means that there's probably somebody that's just starting a stream again. But if you wanted to come in, and I'll see if I can go to the YouTube thing. I'm going to turn off the system sound. Ooh, that's not good. All right. Oh, yeah, actually, the mic sounds pretty good. It might be a little hot, but I'm going to pin, and I'll give a couple of minutes if you want to join. Oh, it's the artist formerly known as GY6. See, but you said keep it on the DL, and I just blew it. See, yeah, you're right. This allows you to look at me. But if we were talking about an article or something, I could put that up here. Rev News likes a pumpkin figure. Yeah, yeah, that's a pretty, well, like 2 pumpkins, maybe. Yeah, and not my favorite. It just is what it is. And I'd like to welcome into the chat Totally Woke. My favorite. It just is.
Hello.
I can hear you. Yeah, I think you're echoing in the back. Hello, Totally Woke. Thank you for joining. And I think I can hear you. Yeah, I think you're echoing in the back. I can still hear myself.
I hear it. It is echoing. I see why.
Is it? What is there, like an echo on or something?
Yeah, there was. It's gone now.
All right,
I fixed it.
Yeah, excellent. Well done. So
I didn't really want to be a potato, but
are you a transphobe?
Oh, actually, yes.
All right. Well, transphobes are God's children too, so you're welcome here. Are you a transphobe?
No, I feel bad. Okay, everybody knows my voice, so no matter what I change picture to, I'm still busted.
Yeah, are you a transphobe or are you more of a phallophobe?
I think people can do whatever they want to do, you know. Just don't force it on me. Like, don't, like, you know, I don't know. I mean, I'm actually not. I mean, I would be if they were hitting on me, I guess. Maybe uncomfortable, we'll put it that way.
Yeah. Well, is your wife, is she, I mean, it's TMI, instituted a sex strike?
Well, hey, you know, I figure.
Well, that happened. I think that happened on our 25th anniversary,
I mean,
though.
like, she says, look,
for different reasons.
Guitars, you can go play guitar. You can think about even getting a motorcycle. I mean, anything.
Yeah, there's other things to do. That's exactly right.
That's right. You know, I mean,
unfortunately, here for deep dihydrogen monoxide. Now, dihydrogen monoxide would be H2O. No, yes, right? It's water, deep water. Oh. And he says he would come in, but the sex strike thing has me all stressed and having PTSD. Plus, my mic is out of commission. It's very stressful times that we live in. Yeah.
Oh, that is funny. No, I think the whole thing. No, you know, it's like it's kind of funny. Like, you were reading through that stuff, and I thought, well, yeah, okay, so you got a percentage of people out there. I don't know. I mean, whatever. It's kind of like the same thing. Like, do what you want to do. Just they can't force that on me anyhow. I don't really care. I mean, whatever you want to do. Yeah.
Well, forcing isn't, and that's the argument that I would make. I wouldn't, if I was as liberal as I used to be, for instance. I think the most effective argument would be, and it's still the effective argument that as a lawyer, somebody that, you know, I like the idea of our laws and how they work, and, you know, limiting government ability to intercede in our lives. The best argument, I think, for the pro-choice people is not sex strikes and trying to do stuff like that. It's the argument that if you allow the government to dictate what someone can do with their body, then it could dictate doing something to your body that would offend your morals. You know, this just happens to be something that doesn't offend some of you know, our Christian brothers and sisters' morals, but it could go in reverse. So it could become a state decision. For instance, like if the state of California decides as a public policy that there are just too many people here, that we would limit families to 2 children only. And if you were pregnant with a 3rd child, that you would need to have a forced abortion. So that couldn't happen.
Right. Well,
that's a problem.
In some places of the world.
In China, it used to, in China, as recently as like the last 10 years, I think. They just stopped.
I didn't know that they still did that or not.
They just stopped it, at least that I heard.
Yeah, since COVID. sorry.
Well, yeah, the COVID natural. No, I think in the last.
They said, "Oh boy, this is bad."
Yeah, well,
and I'm not trying to be ignorant, like following the same line of thinking, though. What is this? It's not comical. It's sad. But the weird part about it is that the people who are screaming that they want it, which I get it, kind of, especially with rape and incest, and maybe just very young people that look. Let's start a war here, but look. I mean, you have less, like for the conservatives, you just go like, well, okay. I mean, if be less of you, more of us. I mean, I'm not being ignorant. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just saying it's weird in a weird, way. Like when I thought, well, okay, so what's your threat? You're going to kill your children? It's like, it's pretty sick. But
yeah, and this gets me to, this is again a part of the liberal response that to me is just like, stop. So did you hear the older lady at the Trump speech, I think yesterday, where she accidentally said, "Thank you. I'd like to thank Trump for white life." Did you? you didn't hear it? Did you hear that?
No. Was it like on purpose? You think to like?
No, it was a mistake. And
so she wasn't like a.
We're gonna find it.
No, it was Antifa. I'm gonna ask Jill. We'll tell you. Antifa worked their way in there.
We're gonna. I'm gonna show the video. Okay, that's what we're gonna do.
But no, it is a sad thing. I mean, I am surprised. I did look up, at least from what I saw, that there didn't seem to be any exceptions for rape or incest, and I was kind of surprised by that. And maybe that is in different states different. I don't know.
What did you see that there wasn't an exception?
Apparently. Okay, so it's by state kind of thing.
That's
so there could
be
exceptions in some states, maybe for incest and rape, or
right. So, if the state of Kentucky wanted to ban abortion, they could, and they could put an exclusion for rape and incest.
Okay. So maybe just the states popped up were showing.
Right. It's all state. So in the same way, like if we use that same analogy with the state of Kentucky, using that same analysis, if the Supreme Court overturned slavery, for instance, could say, well, we'll allow black slavery, but after 10 years, they have to be freed. Something like that.
Yeah.
And I'm being funny, but at the same time, it's, so let me make sure that, here we go. You want to watch this clip?
Okay. So that was that. And there is something like when the mother's life's in danger, that's choice.
Well, yeah, but it's a potential exception. But if you're a non-abortion state, then none of that matters. That's just the reality.
Yeah. It's actually, it's funny. I was talking with a friend of mine today about it, and what if she got raped and she liked the guy better than you? Oh boy.
I didn't want to get there. I don't know what you're saying now. So here's we're gonna watch this together.
No. It's even worse. Actually, I won't even say like there's no. It say it was Trump. Like Trump raped your girlfriend or something. Like, oh gee.
Don't go there. But here's the comment, and then I'm going to talk about the liberal response to this. I've
been drinking.
I can tell something Lysol maybe. So here we go. Our former president Trump. Some might say he's current. Let's see.
There he is. I chased it down with a flashlight.
Yeah, why isn't it playing?
I don't know. He just doesn't. He doesn't like you.
Ah, darn it. That sucks. Can you hear me still?
Yeah, yep. 2 Corinthians. I heard it.
2 Corinthians. No. All right, I'm gonna because usually this happens like if the internet's not very good.
True.
And
sometimes some things just won't play.
To cast your vote.
Can you hear it now?
Oh yeah. There he is.
Yeah, but then it stopped again.
Then this Tuesday you need to cast your vote for a truly wonderful person, Mary Miller, respected by everybody. Mary, come on up. Come on up.
Oh no, this must be it.
Yeah, here's. I'm gonna make it small.
Everybody's probably playing it, going, "Oh man."
Oh, I just want you to hear what she says. It's horrible. Come on.
Can you hear that motorcycle go by with the music playing?
Yeah, that was pretty loud.
Yeah, it was.
Oh, what a shame. I'm not on wireless, right? Got all white on me. There's a message
Oh.
there. So anyway, he's trying to promote this lady. Let's see if it comes up. It says experiencing interruptions. Yes, I am. And she comes up and she wanted to say thank you, President Trump, for what you did for the right to life. And she accidentally said white life.
Oh,
thank you, President Trump, for white life. But see, now it's playing. Yeah, so it's StreamYard is the problem. So what I'm going to do is you're going to hear it from my don't talk. I'm going to mute you, or you mute yourself. But I'll mute you. So the reason I'm muting you is because if you talk, it's going to echo. But I'm going to play my system sound. We won't be able to. You'll just hear what she said as she gets introduced. Okay. First off, Trump gives her a little kiss on the cheek. Can you hear it?
Oh my gosh. Thank you so much, President Trump. It's such an honor to be able to welcome you to God's country. I'm in front of this massive crowd that loves you. I'm so honored to have your endorsement. President Trump, on behalf of all the MAGA patriots in America, I want to thank you for the historic victory for white life in the Supreme Court yesterday.
So she said she wanted to thank him for the victory for white life.
Well, she got it mixed up.
Yeah, clearly she. So what the liberal woke are using this and saying that's what she really meant, and she clearly didn't mean that. And the truth is, regarding abortions, one of the points I wanted to make is that. And it was an article. I was going to do a whole thing on it, and it was taking too much time. But I found an article from about 12 years ago, I think, that said at that time that black abortion, the abortion among black women versus white women, it was like a black woman was 5 times more likely to get an abortion than a white woman. And so if that was a victory, if the only victory for white life for a white nationalist as it relates to abortion would be more abortions, because that would mean more black babies killed, right? So it's a silly argument that unfortunately I'm hearing a lot of liberals that are making, and it's annoying. So,
yeah, I didn't really think of it in the way of ethnicity, but I guess that would probably come into play.
Yeah, well, it did. I mean, that's just the reality. It's every sector. The only sector of quote unquote minorities where the abortion rate is less than whites proportionately is the Asian population. And then anything other than black and Hispanic.
Yeah.
So I saw a pie graph related to that. Now, white women as a number have more abortions, but proportionally it's because there's more white people in the United States still. So it's a scary stat if you're a minority. And the funny thing about that article, because it was 12 years ago, was it was condemning black pastors for using that stat as if they were misusing it, and misusing it in the context of abortion being used as birth control, because of course women don't use abortion as birth control. And then we see the hashtag sex right stuff that's happening. And it appears to be a clear indicator that women use it as birth control. Because they don't want to have sex anymore because we won't have the opportunity to determine the pregnancy. So let us stop the hookup lifestyle. It's like, yeah, well, maybe this is a good thing for women to see, like, that isn't a good thing. It's not a good thing. And I think even people supportive of abortion, if they're honest, would say it's not a good thing to use it as birth control. There are many on here that would say, hey, if I can do what I want. But to me, you're not really recognizing what it is. And it goes back to a family member who said one of the most horrific things to me about abortion, but it was something that certainly when I was 18, 19, 20, 25, 30 years old would probably have agreed with, which is the fetus is nothing more than a parasite. And to me, that is not only as a Christian, but just as a human being, it's a horrific thing to say that potential human life at the very least is a parasite.
Well, you would think that if it wouldn't be a bad idea to not date anybody you wouldn't marry, but then I guess if then there's probably protection or something. I don't know.
Well, I mean, think about it from a hookup culture standpoint. It's like that gal that you were watching that was talking about, sex strikes and stuff. And it's like the idea of 6% of women have orgasms and stuff is because casual sex, the hookup lifestyle, works perfectly for men. Somebody that's using Tinder and looking for a quick hookup, he doesn't care whether or not the partner gets off. He just wants to get off. And of course, it's the hookup culture doesn't benefit a woman who wants to have fulfilling sex.
Well, then why do these women fake it all the time?
Exactly.
What the heck is going on here? Yeah.
Well, it's hard for a woman to fake it, I think, if the guy lasts like 10 seconds. How could you fake it properly? That's a whole discussion that we could do a whole 3-hour hangout on that, I think.
That's right, 10 seconds.
Yeah, that's probably I wonder what the timing of your average Tinder hookup.
Boy,
the
I don't know.
Well, I mean, I got an idea, and it probably would help
3 to 5 minutes. I don't know.
Might be lucky for something. Guys that are into that idea, they don't care.
Yeah, it's kind of pretty weird to me.
Unless they're really attracted to the person and wanted to have like a regular hookup, right? Then it might matter. But absent that, I'd be like, just get my rocks off. I'm done.
Well, I think dating women at church is better than the bar, I would say.
You've been in some good churches for that too, unfortunately, I should say.
What do you mean? What? How would you know that?
Well, you've told me some of those stories with the pastor. When the pastor is like pro whatever, bragging about the secretary or whatever that was, that's a problem.
Oh, well, you know what was weird about that? That guy, he was not actually a pastor.
Oh, I thought he was.
Well, he was what they would call a lay pastor, to be proper. That's a shame.
But weren't you watching him doing a sermon or something at some time, or you were in a room where he was working on it?
Yeah, he had done that. But one of the problems was that when he was speaking the one time, a couple of the guys from his work were there, and one of the guys played on our worship team. And so it was a weird deal in that, to me, what bothered me wasn't so much. It was the combination of that he talked about it and they were there. That was the difficulty for me, is that people were listening to him and he was preaching like on holiness, that kind of thing. And so that made it difficult. Had he not been teaching on that, it wouldn't have been maybe so rough. But knowing that he told those guys at work and then they told me, they were listening to him, that's where it became difficult.
Yeah, well,
I think he should have. Gosh, I don't know how to say this right, but
we don't have to get into it. The point is that there are people in the church that are immoral and openly so.
He married her and stayed married for years. No kidding. But in my opinion, I think I understand. You could argue about the act, but I also think that he could have kept his trap shut, and show her some respect. After all, it did work out, so that's a good thing.
Deep water here. This is a way. I think I'm going to probably close this up pretty soon.
Yeah, you're going to be in a lot of trouble talking like this.
Yeah,
My God.
exactly.
I just
water.
gave permission to see be promiscuous and dirty. Wait, where's Smokey when you need him? Oh, where's
Forget him. I don't know what I'm talking about. So, deep water says hands off from a body unless it is mandatory vaccine, strange times. And see, that's an interesting thing too. Because and this is what I alluded to before related to China and forced abortions and stuff, but really it applies to vaccine.
China.
So if the government, I know that there are a lot of people that watch this from a conservative side that are like, don't force vaccines on me. But the precedent that is set from this new case related to a state that says a state can decide whether a woman can do something to her body or not, that the state of California can use that as a means to say, well, then we have a public policy that says that we make it mandatory that you get a vaccine if you want to stay as a California resident. And if or don't want to go to jail, we can make it a crime if you don't get the vaccine. And this case sets the precedent that a state can do that.
Yes. Do you realize something weird though of what we went through? And we're still going through it. I think there's less people dying now, of course. But you know though that I've always taken the argument of people arguing over this, and I'll just like automatically break it in half and just say, okay, so it's like around 1 million. Say, okay, 500,000. That's a lot of people. I mean, just give it to them. Say, okay, here, go ahead, take half of it. Just say, it's not accurate. That's an insane amount of people. I mean, because people will say it's just a flu, and you go, well, you don't end up with a million.
Yeah,
800,000, 1 million, whatever.
Yeah, I don't want to get deep into this, and that's where we'll end it. Is that I was vaccinated, I was boosted. I think that I've had COVID. I think I had it last Christmas. It was like a 24-hour flu for me, and it wasn't that bad. I didn't lose my taste. I didn't lose my smell. And I was exposed to it within the last month. My son had it. My son had COVID in the last month. It did nothing to him. And my wife and I both vaccinated and boosted, not the second booster.
I didn't either, yeah.
And we didn't get it. He got it. He was in the house. I didn't mask myself. He wasn't that careful. He was still using the same water as I was. I didn't even think about washing my hands that much, and I didn't get it.
Wow.
So, I mean, the best immunity you can get beyond vaccine is to actually get it. But
that could be. Yeah, well, then again, though, the different strains, you could maybe get it twice. I don't know. I'd like to think it's
the natural immunity. The natural immunity we get once our body beats it. I think you can't beat that. It's much better than the vaccine.
Probably.
But it's if you're a vulnerable person, it's a tough thing. At this point, I think we've reached herd immunity. I'm not even thinking about it anymore. And
yeah, it's weird. I was I was very surprised. I met a guy I haven't seen, since high school. And he's pretty darn liberal, and it was really bizarre that he reached out and shook my hand, and I was kind of like, wow, that was. I've had a number of people do that lately. I just spit on my hand. No, I don't. But I'm surprised though that people are doing that more now.
Yeah, I think I had you
it or no.
That noticed what again? Say.
People shaking hands more than what they were.
Oh yeah, of course. Everyone's doing hugging. Yesterday at church we have some people at our church that are moving, and hugging. It's we're pretty much back to normal. The only difference this is one of the things I am noticing is that I get headaches a lot more than I used to. Well, some might say that that's because of the vaccine. I would say it's because I think COVID is around us all the time now. And
I was talking with a guy that said that he's had some memory issues. Now, I don't know. I don't know if that is part of long-term effects from it or not. I don't know.
Yeah. Well,
And
I
that's
don't know.
from the actually having it.
Yeah,
And
I know some people suffering from, they call it long COVID right now. One of them is very young, actually. She's probably in her 40s, and she's having continual problems. And
wow.
I'm not sure if she was vaccinated or not. I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't know if it affected me neurologically, but my hand's still like going numb, and it comes and goes. You know, like lately it's been pretty bad. But
After the vaccine?
yeah, it's when I noticed it was my left hand, my first, second fingers, and my thumb. Usually it's my middle finger and my thumb, but sometimes the first finger and like about half of the third finger will all go numb, and then other times my whole hand goes numb.
Wow, for a guitar player, that's terrible.
Yeah, it's rotten. Yeah, so I can't really play much. So I don't
Wow.
know. Don't know
I
if
don't
it's
know.
from that
I
or
don't.
carpal
I
tunnel or
doubt
what.
I doubt that's related. It could
Well,
be.
at the same time that happened, I got the vaccine, and I also, my kids and stuff, they were laughing about it, saying, "Wow, it didn't affect that at all." Because I was out running this Sawzall with this big heavy tooth blade in it, and and it shook like crazy, like because I really should have had a finer blade, but it just ripped through stuff I was cutting down, and I thought, well, that's impressive, but maybe I was, the amount of shaking of the thing, holding on to it is what caused it. Because they were laughing that I just kept working and didn't even act like I got a vaccine, and I was like, well, so I don't know whether it came from that or the vaccine. I really don't know.
Well, I hope not. Anyway, I
But
pray that
they did
you
put
get
it on
over
the
that.
label though of the Johnson & Johnson that it could cause those issues. So I don't know.
Well, I hope that goes away. So we've gotten a 2 hour and 7-minute hang. I think that's good enough for
Yeah,
me.
yammering about this stuff. And I'll tell you what I'm going to do, though, in frustration of the whole dang thing. I'm just going to stop. I'm not going to, no more.
You're going to stop having sex?
Yep.
All right. I'm with you. I'm on a sex strike to counter the sex strike.
Absolutely.
And that way I can say to the women who are sex striking against me, well, guess what? I'm sex striking against you.
At least
so how about that?
A couple days, anyhow. Yeah.
Can we do that? That's the conclusion.
Yeah.
We are on a sex strike against the sex strike. So take that. Take
That's right.
that, you woke lady.
No. Look, I don't need, forget it. Yeah, I'm not.
I'm also on an entertainment strike. All right. And here's why.
I'm not telling you about Rob Reed's channel so that you'll go over there because it's pretty boring. You got to bring your own excitement to the whole thing.
All right. So thank you, Bruce, for coming here.
And that whole discussion took my mind places it shouldn't be.
Yeah. And mine too. But I had some fun, and I hope that some people that watch
it is hard to believe, but I don't know. Maybe they can get trolley cars or something to commute people or something.
We'll figure it out. The patriarchal society will figure it out, I'm sure.
They will.
So,
we'll have mobile hospitals or something.
Exactly. Well, thank you, Bruce, for joining.
We'll
talk
well, hey,
later.
look, if you have a license plate from another state, no, never mind. Okay. All right. Bye.
Yeah, don't go there. Adios. So thank you, everybody, for watching. That was fun. And thank Bruce for joining me. And this was a good test of the equipment, and I'll listen back to see the balances of everything. I have the gain turned up pretty high on this sucker, and so it means my mixer isn't particularly great, but good enough because when I heard some of the playback, it still sounded pretty good. I've got a phone number from Skype. We're going to incorporate that, maybe get calls once I get some, maybe more viewers, and particularly people that I don't know, which would be fun, who don't want to come on camera, and I'll connect them with Skype, and I can my phone can answer the Skype, and I can have it actually come through my mixer where you'll be able to hear them, and they'll be able to hear me, I think, on speakerphone. We can get some Skype calls in, particularly for those people who are shy and don't want to come on camera. That would probably be pretty effective. So we'll continue to work on this. It's nice to kind of be back and figure this out. We'll try and work on better backgrounds. I do have a couple other cameras in here, as you'll see. This one's behind me. And now you can see, like, I have to spin it around so you can see the bookshelves around. which is a better view, but I think we'll angle it a little bit better in the future. And this one is like on that side, but it's actually, that camera is crashed right now because I'm frozen on that camera. So we're back here. And there we go. I think I'll get a little bench thing too, because this seat that I'm in right now is, I don't know. Anyway, thank you for watching. Don't listen to Ace. Or if you do listen to Ace, bring your own excitement. Thank you for those that did stick around and you brought your own excitement. Once again, this is an endorsement of this channel. Thank you, Ace.
I'm not telling you about Rob Reed's channel so that you'll go over there because it's pretty boring. You know, you got to bring your own excitement to the whole thing.
And to my coworkers who have revealed the truth about me.
Worst Christian ever.
We'll see you later. God bless. I thank you for joining me. Well, if you have a topic that you want to cover, or any legal questions or something, or some TikTok that you want me to look through, and we'll have fun, and maybe we'll make it a contest and guess who's woke and who's not. We could do that too. Please let me know down in the comments. Thanks for watching. We'll look for some hangouts coming. I'm sure Praise is having one every night with Olive and Sparrow. I need to kind of check those out too. God bless you. See you later. Next time.